What's up, guys? Hockey TikToky is back with an all-new video. In today's episode of the podcast, I'm talking about the Four Nations Face-Off roster. It apparently got leaked, and I wanted to just kind of quickly gloss over that because I think a lot of people were sort of anticipating and waiting for these final rosters to finally come out because it's getting closer and closer to this little tournament. So for those of you that don't know or are kind of wondering what's going on, the Four Nations Face-Off is going to be like a mini tournament, I guess, for lack of a better word, because it's only 4 teams. But it's basically going to be like almost like an Olympic style, country, like World Cup type thing. But there's only going to be 4 teams. There's Canada, USA, Sweden, and Finland. And I think there was some broadcasters or insiders or whatever that somehow figured out what the roster was going to be, and they kind of leaked the information early. And I guess I kind of wanted to just weigh in on it. In my personal opinion right now, I'm not that psyched up for the tournament itself because it's so small. It's just 4 teams. It's just Canada, USA, Finland, and Sweden. And I think that makes it less exciting because when you go to like World Cups or Olympic style tournaments, you can have more drama because there's more teams involved. So it's always more fun to kind of see more players and more teams kind of getting a chance to win. And the most notable one would be Russia, which is apparently not participating because of political reasons, or they're being banned from participating because of political reasons. So I guess it's just not that exciting of a tournament for me, where at the end of the day, once it gets closer to the actual Four Nations face-off, I probably will be super pumped and excited to watch the teams face off. But as of right now, I'm not that into it. I don't care that much. And the only sort of exciting part about this whole process is kind of wondering, like, how are they going to make the roster? Who's going to make the cut? And me personally, I cheer for the Calgary Flames. So when it comes to who you think deserves a chance or who could be a representative for Team Canada, or any of the teams really, but Canada is also the team I would cheer for in the tournament. The only Flames player that seemed to have any sort of a shot of making the team is Mackenzie Weegar on the defense, but Team Canada is so incredibly stacked when it comes to their defensemen, guys. Like, they've got absolute studs up and down the lineup when it comes to defense. And most notably, Cale Makar is probably the best defenseman in the world right now. He's doing things that a lot of people might not even realize that he's doing things that haven't been seen since the days of Bobby Orr when it comes to putting up points. So starting with him and then looking up and down the roster, there's not much room for guys who are just really good. And I think that's what Mackenzie Weegar kind of falls into, because he doesn't truly excel at any one particular facet of the game. And that kind of hampers him a little bit. So there's other guys that, I think Team Canada could select over top of him. And in these leaked rosters, it seemed like the selections were also geared towards guys who already play well together. So I think Cale Makar would have his defense partner from Colorado playing with him, since he already knows how to play with him and is, fits well with him there on that pairing. I think they picked an entire pairing from Vegas, Golden Knights, Pietrangelo, and Theodore, I think, is the other guy, which, is an entire pairing. Like, they already play together on a team. And that leaves very little room for any other players. And then the only other guy that I think would have any sort of shot to making Team Canada for from the Calgary Flames would have been Nazem Kadri. But honestly, the center position is probably Canada's deepest position, even though I just talked about how deep their defense are. At center, the Team Canada's roster is unbelievably stacked. Like, they have too many centers. Realistically, they're going to have Nate MacKinnon or Sidney Crosby, probably one of those two guys playing on a wing, because they just have too many centers. You know, obviously McDavid is a phenomenal center. Obviously MacKinnon is right up there, and Sidney Crosby, even though he's a little bit older now, he could obviously be a star center for Team Canada as well. And then there's a whole list of other guys that could just be the third or fourth center for this team, you know, and in any direction you want to take it. You know, they have, I believe, Brayden Point from Tampa Bay, and in the leaked roster they have Anthony Cirelli from Tampa Bay as well, who, you know, he might not be the flashiest and most gifted scoring elite talent, but he's still the type of player that can center a fourth line and kind of be the role player for the team that would go against Team America and Team Finland and Sweden. So yeah, that's kind of the news, guys, on what happened today with the roster. Last night was a super emotional game. I talked about it in my last episode about Johnny Gaudreau, you know, being honored for his contributions to both Calgary and Columbus for his NHL career. You know, it was a super emotional game. Watching the opening ceremonial face-off with Monahan and Backlund was, not gonna lie, guys, it was tough to watch. Like, my eyes welled up when I watched Monty and Backlund take the draw there with little Johnny and his other daughter. I think her name's Noah, on the ice. It was a tough watch, guys, because I think Johnny Gaudreau was the type of person and the type of player that touched a lot of people, you know, in being able to connect with them as a person and a hockey player, and you know, left a really big impact. And from all accounts I've heard, he's a really good guy, and my heart goes out to the family, you know, his wife and kids that he left behind. So that was a really emotional game, but it was also a huge win for the Calgary Flames. You know, 3-0. Shout out to Dan Vladar for getting the shutout and getting back on the track for winning more games. And one other piece of news I want to update on is, unfortunately, some sad news or bad news. Justin Kirkland is not only going to be out long term, he's going to be out for the whole rest of the season. He suffered ACL tear, just as Anthony Mantha did earlier on this season. He also is going to require surgery and miss the whole rest of the season. So, oh man, it's just been a bit of a rough week for the Calgary Flames and Calgary Flames fans. You know, with the unfortunate news from such a feel-good story, Justin Kirkland was at the beginning of the season, and now he's going to be out for the whole rest of the season. You know, we got a little bit of closure there with the ceremony for Johnny Hockey, and now we've got the roster leakage for Team Canada. So thank you guys all for watching. Please help me out by giving a like to the video, and maybe hitting the notification and the subscribe buttons for me as well. So have a good day.